So Matt, what are the stage 3 tax cuts? How much are they going to cost and who's going to get them?
Well, basically the stage 3 tax cuts are enormous tax cuts that mostly go to high income earners. They're going to cost over the next 10 years about $313 billion, about $20 billion next year when they first come in.
Wow, they must be good.
And they're going to go to anybody earning more than $45,000.
Anyone over $45,000. I must admit, I've heard the Prime Minister say that anyone earning over $45,000 gets them.
Stage 3 does begin to kick in at $45,000.
But some people have said that people on high incomes, $200,000 a year are going to get all the tax cuts.
$45,000 is not much though, is it?
How can both be true?
Well, I suppose it's because those that are close to $45,000 don't get a great deal. So let's put some numbers around that. If you're on $46,000, so just above $45,000,
woohoo,
you'll get $25 a year.
A year?
A year. So 50 cents a week.
50 cents a week? What can I buy with 50 cents?
Not a great deal, I would suggest.
Come on, give me some examples.
All right, what could you buy? Well, you could buy a packet of tartare sauce at McDonald's if you're buying food.
So with my fillet of fish, I can get an extra tartare sauce.
You can get some extra tartare sauce.
Thanks to the stage 3 tax cuts.
Yep.
Okay, so people on minimum wage might be technically eligible for getting the tax cut of the whole tartare sauce. But what about, I don't know, say the average registered nurse?
The average registered nurse earns $82,000 a year.
Oh,
so
well, that's
well above 45.
Yeah.
Yeah. They could afford some smashed avo on toast.
Every day?
Once a week.
Once a week?
Once a week.
Okay.
If they were using it to buy food.
Yeah, better than a tartare sauce.
That's right.
So 2 kids, 1 avocado toast between them?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Okay, and what about someone earning, say, $200,000 a year? Like a member of parliament or...
Yeah, all the backbenchers.
All the backbenchers.
Well, they would get over $9,000 a year.
Ooh, that's better than tartare sauce money.
They could afford a bit more. Once a week, they could go to a flash harbourside Sydney restaurant, get themselves a lobster in garlic sauce with a very nice bottle of French wine.
And tartare sauce?
If they wanted to, I'm sure that if you asked for lobster in a tartare sauce in an establishment like that, they might not be too thrilled.
Every week they can get themselves a lobster and a bottle of French wine.
So packet of tartare sauce for the minimum wage, lobster and French wine for those on 200,000.
Right. All right, Matt. So I hear you that, low-income earners get the tartare sauce, high-income earners get the lobster. That's not realistic. What if people wanted to spend it, I don't know, like on an annual holiday?
So they save the whole tax cut up.
Save a year's worth of tax cuts up.
Yep.
What could someone who's eligible, according to the Prime Minister, on 45,000, what could they get?
Well, on the full-time minimum wage, which is about $47,000 a year, they could get themselves a one-way ticket from Sydney to Newcastle, which is about 170 kilometres.
On the train?
2.5 hours on the train, yeah.
One way or return?
No, one way. They have to make their own way back. The tax cut wouldn't quite spring to a return ticket.
All right, so low-income earners getting an income tax cut, save it all up for a year, get yourself a one-way trip from Sydney to Newcastle.
Yep.
What about someone earning 200,000 if they kind of diligently saved their tax cut from their hard-earned income?
Yep.
Where might they be able to take themselves?
Well, they will be able to go on a 29-day European-wide holiday.
Not even 30 days?
Not even 30 days, including accommodation, transport, breakfast, and additional spending money on food.
So the tax cuts give a one-way train trip for people on the minimum wage and 29 days
European holiday.
Touring around European vacation. So it's as if someone, maybe Scott Morrison back when he was Treasurer, invented a set of tax cuts that would deliver far bigger tax cuts to high income earners than to ordinary income earners. And hey, job well done.
Yeah, and these tax cuts aren't free, of course, right? They're going to cost the budget, as I said, just over $20 billion in their first year. And if the government wants to run a balanced budget or a budget surplus, then they have to come with cost cutting.
All right, so $20 billion in foregone revenue. If the government wants to balance the budget, needs $20 billion worth of not spending on something else. So, I don't know, maybe you could spend $20 billion on
public housing.
Public housing, building a hell of a lot of renewable energy. Maybe paying teachers and nurses a lot better incomes so that they could get some bigger tax cuts. Yeah, look, the reality is $20 billion per year in income tax cuts is an enormous decision. The consequences of it are going to be we're going to make Australia a less even society, and we're going to make the government less able to spend money on health, education, transport, tackling climate change than it otherwise would. Lose-lose.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoy our videos, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell button to get notified when we publish a new one. See you next time.